All the guys on our show. Call all the guys in now.
All right, bring them all in. We got Wonder Boy in here, Earl's here, Hawk's here, Mikey D, Rory, and Billy, and Harry Elvis.
Billy, I'm glad you're here, and I'm glad your hair's poofed. I am going to say this. I don't want anybody to try to figure it out. There's how many guys in here, Fez? There's
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of our guys.
I don't want any of you guys calling any of the Ron and Fez girls unless they're calling you first. Can that be agreed upon?
All right.
Here's the problem.
The regular girls that, are on our show all the time that we enjoy partying with on the air.
One of you guys, and I'm not going to say who it is, because I don't think that you mean it that way, is coming across as a stalker. And I'm not going to embarrass you. I'm not going to make a big deal about it. Stop calling unless you get a call. That's all I'm going to say.
All right?
Is that fair?
Yeah. Yes. If the young lady approaches you, fine.
No, I didn't say it to Fez because obviously it's not him.
I have a fiancé.
Right.
And I'm faithful. Damn faithful.
So we're all punished for the...
Should I point it out that it's you, Billy?
No.
No, it's just a policy now. It's
all right.
You know what? It shouldn't have had to been, Billy, but now, yes. Now it has to be a show policy.
Well, I think the person should step up and then let the rest of us off the hook.
All right, Billy, it's you.
So step up.
No.
12 step up.
Seriously, don't do it. If someone calls you, it's fine.
Yeah.
But don't come across as a stalker.
Okay?
That's my gig.
Can we all agree to that in 2003?
Agreed.
We stopped the stalking?
Agreed.
And Billy, I don't know what you're doing with the blow dryer, but it's scary.
I think he's bathing with it. I think he's throwing it in the tub.
I would love that. That would be the perfect 2003 for me. All right, we take a break, and you know what? I will talk to Billy next. And I'm not going to get into the stalking stuff, but Billy came in here, and you knew he would.
Mm-hmm.
New haircut.
Right.
New bad mustache. And you're calling 2003 what?
The year of Billy.
And you know that it's not a joke, and he does this kind of thing all the time because he wants to feel better about himself. And I guess when you're at the bottom, what better place than to push up?
Call China.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, call China and see if they're celebrating the year of the ass as well.
You're going to be very well surprised at what I'm going to be doing.
We're going to talk to Billy.
All right, we'll do that
about
next.
some of the stuff.
The year of Billy, 2003.
It's coming up next, Ron and Fez.
Welcome back. We're Ron and Fez. We are live tonight on 102.7 WNEW New York City and 106.7 WJFK Washington, D.C. Back live for the new year.
Nice vacation for you, Fuzzy?
Very nice. Very nice. I did nothing.
Well,
I didn't get off my fat can.
Sometimes that's the best thing for you. But why aren't you now, tonight? Get up off your fat can and amuse us.
I don't think I can. I think I'm stuck on my fat can.
Here's somebody we haven't talked to in a long time, Fezzy. It's our old girlfriend, Crazy Claire. Hey, Claire, how you doing, baby?
Hey, Crazy.
Hi, guys. What's going on?
How was your holidays?
It was pretty good.
Was this a holiday that you did not try and kill yourself?
Actually, you know what? It was really embarrassing. On Christmas Eve, everybody toasted to my mental health.
Is that right? Good.
I swear to God.
How long has it been since you've been in the Nut Hut? It's been a while,
2
right?
years. Everybody is so proud of me. 2 years.
Good for you.
I think that you ought to tell your family that you've never been back in the Nut Hut since you've got on the radio.
Oh, God. Yeah, that would go over well.
Now, if you just be on the radio and have naked websites.
No, because I remember I was in for a while when I first started calling in a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Remember?
You were still a cutter then, right? You used to cut yourself.
Yeah, I got sent in for a little while, like 2 Christmases ago.
What did you get for Christmas? Some new prescriptions?
I got money.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I'm using the money to go to Mardi Gras.
Oh, great. You'll be one of those girls. I will see you on a website then.
I know. I hope that doesn't happen.
I would have given you Zoloft gift certificates.
That'd be great.
What are the drugs you're on now?
Okay. It hasn't changed for you. It's Prozac, Wellbutrin, Buspar, Seroquel, and Neurontin.
Oh, jeez.
Was that last one Nirvana? I didn't catch it.
Neurontin.
Oh.
I don't really know what they're all for either.
I don't know too many people that aren't on at least the Zoloft anymore.
I'm not on Zoloft.
Oh, well, I'm saying at least, at the very least.
It seems like everyone we know is on some sort of mood alterer.
Billy, what's your drug?
Well, I'm actually up to 3 now.
Really?
Yeah, they put me on a new one, just like Claire, Wellbutrin.
Fruit Loops
Oh, really?
is not a
Purple
pill.
pill?
What does that do, Billy?
It's also an antidepressant, which
It helps with anxiety, too, I think.
helps anxiety, which affects a different part of the brain than the Lexapro, which I'm on. So it's actually 2 antidepressants.
All right, do you still get
two.
sexually
I'm on
aroused, or is that a
3
problem?
antidepressants.
No, actually, this Wellbutrin has the opposite effect of the Lexapro. Wellbutrin increases your sexual appetite.
So it's a little like Viagra.
Yeah, it's nice. It's brought things back.
Yeah, it actually has helped me out.
Is that right?
Well, yeah, because I used to have trouble getting off, but now it's...
Oh, is that right? Why don't you take a half dozen and stop over?
Dave Billy.
Have a Wellbutrin party.
Yeah, definitely. All the cool kids are doing it. I said they put my dad on Paxil a couple weeks ago, like 2 months ago.
Paxil kind of downs you out a little bit, right?
Yeah, Paxil's the one where it takes you forever to finish. If you're a guy, it just
I don't
takes
wanna know.
forever.
I'm not just talking
forever.
everything sexually, okay, Billy?
I know, I don't want to know about
Well,
that.
that's a downer. I mean, that's depressing.
Yeah.
I know, but you're talking to Claire about a father.
Yeah. And your dad gets off quick still, right?
I don't know. What was it from that movie, Daddy Says I'm the Best Kisser or something
Oh,
like
yeah.
that?
Yeah, vacation.
Yeah, no, so he's on that, so he's actually become a much nicer person.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, so my family life is a lot better, even though my mom's a
It's Christmas
raging.
dinner. They're just sitting there drooling on a turkey that no one's able to cut.
What the
Parents
other...
let me drink now, too.
All right, so your dad has anxiety problems. What's wrong with your mom?
She
hear
got, like,
voices?
3 or 4. She's got like the same thing I do. She's got anxiety and depression.
Is that right?
Yeah, but mine's worse because it's like from both sides of the family. But my mom also smokes a lot of pot, which doesn't make it any better.
No, do you smoke pot too?
No, just occasionally. When I'm drunk, I'm already drunk. I'll smoke pot. But,
Now, you know, I wouldn't think that if you're taking this little cocktail of pills that you'd even want to have a drink with it. I mean, the whole point about this is that anything that messes you up off of that fez ruins everything. And then there you are sitting there with a bottle.
Right, you're trying really hard to balance your chemistry, right?
well, if you do it like not too often, it's okay. It doesn't really mess you up. And I'm in college. Why can't I have fun?
Because you're crazy and you cut yourself.
I haven't caught myself in years.
You know, a lot of people that are in wheelchairs would love to get up and dance, but they can't. You've got to deal with the hands that you got from God. And if you have some kind of whacked out brain chemistry like you and
I'm
Billy...
Irish. It's part of the family culture.
Is it a college or Nut Hut?
It's an open enrollment college. It's not much.
The football players, do they have Letterman straitjackets?
I'm pretty sure there's not a football team at whatever college she's going to.
No.
Winona Ryder goes to the same college, Fez, if you know what I'm happening with.
The Squirrels are the football team.
No, that's not true.
Now, do you do anything weird now that you're into since you stopped cutting yourself?
I've become actually really neat. I've got my OCD has turned into like neatness.
Yeah.
So I'm actually like really neat. I went out and bought the Swiffer wet jet and was cleaning everything.
I would love for my chick to get an OCD.
Yeah, I'm so clean, it's ridiculous.
Everything has to be cut so nice and neatly.
You know, if people have OCD, why don't they just get jobs as maids and have a ball? Just clean the world.
I love my work.
I'm a street cleaner.
It does feel good. So now
You get a little OCD stuff, right, Fez?
Oh, I definitely do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you wear things with like your shoes, don't you? Or like can't have. Who was that? Somebody couldn't have their
Oh,
shoes.
it's
on their bed.
my socks. I will put on my socks like at the very least twice, getting ready to go out the door. Sometimes 3 or 4 times. Because I can't have them folded up at all inside my shoes.
Yeah.
It makes my toes freak.
Anything else like that? How about your bed? Do you...
With my bed, I have to, the opening of the pillowcase has to face away from the door. The opening of the pillowcase can't face the opening of the room.
I agree with that.
It feels like the pillow's going to fall out and go right out the door.
Are you sleeping on a tire, or what are you sleeping on? That you're so concerned. I think Mikey D has obsessive things. I would guess that maybe Hawk might have a couple. Hawk, do you get weird about anything like that?
Yeah, I always have to sleep on my left side. Like, I have to be lying down on my left side.
Yeah, but that's more of a comfort thing. That's not obsessive.
I thought you had the thing of checking the door lock. Didn't you have that? Somebody here has that one, where they have to go outside. They keep thinking they didn't lock their door.
You're thinking of Tuttle.
Oh, is that who it is?
Yeah.
All right.
And he used to
I'm a nut.
get up in the middle of the night because he would think that his car door was unlocked and the lights were on. And he would do it like 40 times. And he was just crazy about it. You've got a lot, right, Mikey?
Yeah, I used to always tape the news. That stopped
Yeah.
You tape the news every day?
for like 11 years.
What did you do with the tape?
And now you videotape the news and you save them, right?
Right.
It's not even taping over.
No, that's basically a homeless person that has a home. You know? That's I'm holding on to the paper. All right, what else?
What else? I mark every picture that I have, the date. Like when I come here or when I go out, this is what I have in my pocket. I always bring this stuff.
What is that stuff?
These are two little trolls that I always have, that I always bring with me.
I thought that was Helena Linnae.
No, well, you could...
Bessie, let me just say that some of your stuff hurts.
I'm sorry.
Okay?
I have a little evil eye thing here.
All right, you're like
So
a gypsy.
Are you OCD or superstitious?
You're going to end up grabbing 2 chickens and jumping over my fence.
Well, I freak out if I don't bring it.
So something bad could happen.
That's what I feel.
See, that's the obsessive compulsive thing. And, you know, it all that starts if you step on a crack, something bad will happen. And I don't know how it started. I love obsessive compulsive stuff. And I wish I had some. I don't even think I have any. I'm so lazy. I'm way too lazy.
No, get something.
Yeah, it's actually pretty useful at times. I become very organized.
That usually helps. Billy, you got something?
Yeah, when I'm watching TV or a movie or reading something, I count the words on my hand, and it has to end on 5. Until
I used to do stuff like that with the
that's
syllables
weird.
when I was little.
yeah, like if I'm watching a movie and a guy's speaking, like Fez will go, "Oh, that's weird," and then I'll just go, "Oh, that's weird," you know, until it gets to 5.
All right, but here's
cheating.
Yeah, but here's the other thing. How are you paying attention to Fez or the movie if you're counting syllables?
I do it. It's almost like subconsciously because my hands just move. Like when I'm watching a
Yeah,
TV.
you don't even realize you're doing it.
Yeah, it's just like you just do it until it's.
Here's the weird thing. You figure subconscious stuff that's kind of like almost instinctual, like we subconsciously breathe. You know
Right,
what I mean?
okay, yeah.
And now things that are learned, you kind of get into your subconscious. Let's say like tying your shoes. Like when you're little, you think about tying your shoes, but
The
now
process,
no
yeah.
one ever thinks about it. It's already so ingrained in you that you almost have to stop and teach a kid. You're like,
I
wait a minute, how does this go? But what, like, now why would that be in Billy's subconscious when it doesn't seem like it has any helpful thing to him?
It just calms you down.
Ah, so it's calming.
See, I
All right, that's
the whole
interesting.
thing. That's the whole thing with OCD. If there's the compulsions and you do them.
See, I find
You're
it
like-
opposite because if I don't get it, once I start it, I can't stop it.
Yeah, but here's the point, Billy. And while you're
Don't
doing
do it at
that,
all. It'll make
you're
you
not
anxious.
thinking of your own fat loser life. So probably you're really nervous more about losing your home, your wife, your car, and everything, and moving back into your mom's bedroom.
Yeah, it's easy to focus on that.
You should count your losses.
And that you're focusing on your stupid compulsion instead of facing the life that I would call an abyss.
Well, you know, not all my life is, you know, like you say, there are good points, and I count my fingers good times and bad times.
I don't know, though. But those problems are always still there. I'm just trying to guess.
Yeah, when you brought up your counting thing, Billy, that reminded me. When I go up a flight of stairs, I have to count the steps. Not going down, going up.
Now, do you try to guess how many steps there are? Is it a game?
No, I just
No,
count
you just
them.
have to count them, yeah.
Yeah.
So you guys have no other thoughts. You're just hearing numbers in your head all the time. 1, 2,
Yeah.
3, 4.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
And you're not thinking, oh,
You don't
I'm
even
going
do
to
it on
work,
purpose.
or,
Yeah.
you know, geez, I'd like to do this, or...
Not going up the steps, I'm not.
You like catch yourself doing it. You don't even realize you're doing it.
Yeah, that's a good
You're
point,
like-
yeah.
Yeah, you're like, oh my god, I'm so sick.
And you know what's weird with mine, going up the steps? I don't even have to be accurate. I could start at 12, 13, 14, 15, as
Doesn't
long
bother you.
as I'm just counting.
And the odd thing with me is I only do the counting on my left hand. I can't do it on my right. It's only
so
on my left
annoying.
hand.
Not with that nub.
I think I always count on my right hand.
Some people want to talk a little bit about OCD, so can you hold on with us, Claire?
Oh yeah, sure.
And Claire, just for the listeners at home, what are you wearing right now?
A sweatshirt and jeans,
Oh, jeez, that's awful. All right.
but no underwear.
Oh, nice.
That's what I'm,
Okay.
that's what I'm giving up for the new year.
Oh,
Underwear.
good girl.
It's oppressive.
Anthony, you're on with Crazy Clay and Ron Fez.
Hey, Anthony.
Hey, what's up? What's up, guys? Happy New Year.
Hey.
Thank you, buddy.
I always have to push my bed at night. Make sure it's against the wall. And then I go and I kiss my crucifix twice. And I sit on the bed and crack my fingers, my toe fingers. I have to do that
And then
every
the alarm
night.
clock rings and
Night's gone.
And then I have to sleep. I have to fall asleep like if I'm sleeping in a coffin, like, you know.
A lot of people have sleeping
every
things.
night, every
It
single
helps
night.
to calm them down to go to sleep. A lot of people have sleeping rituals.
All right, Anthony, do you move your bed back so that you have to push it up against the wall again at night?
I have to make sure it's against the wall. My wife
you're just shoving
hates
it
that.
up again.
I just shove it. Sometimes she's sleeping and I shove it, you know, with my legs. You know, boom. I got to make sure it's against the wall.
All right,
guys.
thanks, Ant.
All right, take care.
See ya.
Maybe that's someone who fell out of bed a lot as a kid.
Mikey, do you pray before you go to sleep?
Yes, I do.
I took you for a prayer. Billy, I'm going to say no.
Oh, every morning and every night.
Really?
On the knees next to the bed.
Really? That big?
That humbling.
Now, do you talk to God or do you have standard prayers?
No, every day's different.
Yeah.
You know, it's...
You're not Catholic?
No, I'm Catholic.
Oh.
Yeah, I just, you know, my spirituality is a little different. I just talk to him about the day, and at the end, it's like in the morning,
Like he
please,
doesn't
at the
know.
night, it's thank you.
Well, we just proved God doesn't exist. Prayer doesn't work.
When is one of those pleases going to come off between you and God? I'm going to say, Hawk, not a prayer.
No, I'm not religious at all.
Don't believe in God?
No.
Thinks when we die, that's it? Just
Yep.
black? Okay.
Yep.
Fez, I know, is a prayer.
Yeah, pray.
I'm going to guess Wonder Boy, don't pray.
No, don't pray anymore.
Not even believe? You're with Hawk? Black?
I can't say I don't believe yet, but I'm going down that road, though.
Yeah. Rory's not a prayer.
You pray, Rory?
Yeah, I do pray every night.
Every single night?
Every night I've done it ever since I
Well,
was a
you're
little
not
kid.
doing so well.
I'm really surprised. Now, do you do the Lord's Prayer or you have the personal?
It's personal, but I also say an Our Father, just because my father always taught me that.
Right, sure.
So I just...
I only had one prayer. Hey, if you just give me time to turn this around. That's all I have.
That's all you want.
You know, and please make the Coke stop. I feel my heart bouncing around. That was a big prayer for me. But, you know, that, believe me, you'll find out whether you're religious or not then. When you did one rail too many. And you're just laying there going, I ain't going to wake up. I ain't going to wake up. And then you pray. But, you know, I don't have a decent prayer thing. Just give me time to turn this around. And I never do. I never turn it around.
I never even try.
Yeah. Do you pray, Claire?
No, not at all. I don't believe in anything.
Nothing, huh? You and
Maybe Santa
Hawk are just
Claus.
going to disappear. You and Hawk and Wonder Boy just going to lay there in the blackness.
Yeah, we're just going to die. That's how it goes.
Yeah.
Oh, there's no
at
God.
least you did something. You lived.
Yeah, exactly.
You got something out of it. You're still a plus.
There you go.
You got to look. Let me ask you this, Fez. Would you live your life differently if you definitely found out there was no God?
Would I live my life differently? We talked about the flying earlier.
Yeah.
If there was no God, I probably wouldn't fly.
Just be totally safe and try to get as much time as you possibly could.
If
So
I
when people
realized there
die-
wasn't someone watching out for me, then I was leaving it all completely to chance,
Right.
then, yeah, I probably wouldn't fly.
So when people die in plane accidents, is it because God doesn't like them?
No, he has a different plan for him, right, Fez?
Right, exactly.
For a whole boatload of people, for whatever reason.
For some
I've
reason.
decided you 500 people need to change.
I was never even baptized. I'm like totally. I've never have no concept of religion.
Well, I can tell your pot-smoking mom's not going to slow down long enough to go over a couple of things with you. Here's
Can I pour
Andrew.
Prozac over your head early?
Andrew, you're on the air.
Hey, Andrew.
Hey, boys. The only thing Billy's praying to is the porcelain god every night.
And he's drunk and puking. That's why he kneels down every night and every morning. He wakes up like Richard Gere's father from Officer and a Gentleman. Just sitting there in old dingy boxers, puking until somebody hands him a towel.
It doesn't matter where you pray as long as it gets done.
I think I've prayed when I've been puking before.
All right, so you just gave yourself permission to pray in a crack house, a Buddy Booth, anywhere.
Why not?
Yeah, I was actually taught that in rehab. They said you can be sitting on the bowl and it's a good time to pray.
What you've learned in rehab, the rest of us don't need to know. That's the odd thing. The lessons you've learned in rehab.
I've learned more bad things in rehab.
What's that,
than
Claire?
anything else. I've learned more bad things in rehab, like how to sneak drugs in and like where to get certain drugs.
You're a success story, you are. You know that?
I feel like I do. I only drink now.
That's good, girl.
Yeah.
You got a man in your
Good
life?
alcoholic.
I got
I
one
don't
to praise on the bowl if you'd want one.
I don't know if I have a man. I have a boy.
Is he a young brother?
No, he's not. I have a white boy.
You're off the young brother stage. Like when we first met you, you were only in the young brothers.
No, I mean, no, it's not that. It's just like everybody. You know what I mean? It just happens to be a
I
white
know, it's
boy.
with the chicks.
A little too much.
Yeah. Here's Kenny. You're on Run of Fez.
Hey, Kenny.
Hey, boys, 6120.
Listen.
Thank you, Al. When I do things, I tend to do like a countdown. Like if I'm walking to another room, I have to do it in 5 steps. Or if I'm
I'll
making
do that.
a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, I have 15 seconds to do it, or else the sandwich is going to suck. And I could drag out 1 second for like a day if I have to. That 1 second can be forever.
Now, is that just to keep yourself busy?
I don't know what it's for.
You know, I definitely like to think I can pack faster than people, or, you know what I mean?
Sure.
Like, I'll get competitive about that. And really think of, you know, like a lot of guys will try to go, I wonder how quick I can actually do a good shower. Everything perfectly and be out of here.
Nice.
For a woman, like, a lot of times I think they just stand in there.
I like standing in the shower.
I'm scrubbing down like I'm in a car wash.
Or if I do get down to 0, I'll be like, blast off right now. I'll just continue, like, counting seconds with words. Like,
I
until
remember
it's
doing
like
this
the
before.
ultimate finale.
I will do the thing with the rolled up socks, shooting at the wastebasket, going, all right, if this goes in, then I should get married. All right. Something gigantic like that. But it's up to the rolled up socks going in the wastebasket.
See, if you would just get into that a little bit more, explore it more, you could be OCD.
And then a lot of times, here's what you do. All right, if you miss it in something you want, all right, let's go 2 out of 3.
Mm-hmm.
2 out of 3. If I hit it, yes, I should get married. Just ridiculous. All right, thanks,
Thanks, guys. Yeah.
Sometimes with a decision like that, I'll flip a series of coins. I'll take like 5 quarters, flip them all. Tails will be one thing, heads will be one thing. We'll see who gets best out of 5 instead of flipping 1 coin.
I just get weirded out that you guys are doing so many numbers in your head, not thinking.
Not thinking, doing a lot of numbers, and someone like myself, horrible at math. Considering all the numbers in my life.
I'm awful at math.
You know what? Actually, I got a good way to go with this because it's something I never thought about before. We'll take a break. And we'll come back. Claire, thank you so much for being on.
I wanted
honey.
to come see you guys.
Yeah, anytime. You know that. We'd love to have you in.
All right?
All right, wear those hot pants again. Let's make a big show out of it.
Pad the walls.
All right?
Okay.
All right, we'll talk to you soon.
Bye, guys.
You know Rory's email, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Rory at WNEW.com.
Okay, I'll do that.
All right, he doesn't answer, but he will read it. Roy, do this 2003. You start to answer people, okay?
All right, please.
Will do. Because what happens is I'm already giving them the brush off by, you got to go to Rory. And then if you don't answer, they've gotten the brush off twice.
That just doesn't work for us.
Right. All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back. Run a Fez.
The Run of Fez Show.
We are back live.
In 2003.
After an extra long Christmas break, Fezzy.
It was a long time.
A bizarrely long Christmas break. In New York City, the phone number is 877-692-1027.
Listen on WJFK in D.C., it's 866-277-4969.
Here was what I was trying to ask you, Fez, because you were talking about you count a lot while you're thinking or instead of thinking.
Yeah, if there's like some sort, with me, it's climbing upstairs. Going up a flight of stairs, I'll count the steps.
Yeah.
If I'm doing some other sort of menial thing, maybe I'll start counting through it.
It kind of became interesting to me while we were having a conversation, and I guess I was hitting around it, but here's what I was getting at. We really don't know how each other person on the planet thinks.
True.
You know what I mean? And, you know, when you really think about it, at one time, I mean, it was like the age of the Greeks and stuff before anyone had ever even attempted, maybe even Romans, before anyone even attempted to read other than out loud. Have you ever heard that story? That when people would read, they would only read out loud. And then one guy, his eyes were moving, and he was making the words, they did not know.
I never knew that.
And it never dawned on them that people could that reading, you know, they didn't understand about the mind then, and they would think that reading was something to do with the eyes and the mouth. But you really don't know the way other people think. And I never would spend my day counting like some of you guys do. I think I run a lot of words, almost like a lot of commentary while I'm like walking around along. I think I'm almost thinking words, never pictures, sometimes pictures, but never would I just... I feel like I'm just way too whacked up to spend my time going 1, 2, 3. I would go nuts thinking that counting could keep me going. Do you run a lot of sentences in your mind? Are you any kind of commentary?
Maybe like if I have like commentary in my head, I'll be thinking of like maybe a show we did before, a conversation we had, and I'll rerun old conversations or old jokes in my mind, and try to hit that timing again.
So you, rather than trying to imagine something, you relive something.
I'm more having reruns.
That's odd to me.
Yeah.
I never do it, and maybe that's why my memory's so bad. Why I need Fez to constantly give me everybody's name, because I'm barely in the moment as it is.
If I'm walking down the sidewalk, I'll think of something in the past. Either a show or a conversation I had with somebody, and I'll go through that whole conversation sentence by sentence again. They're kind of like dissecting it.
And now, would you be doing that even while you're having a conversation with me? Can you do both?
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
That's very interesting, though, isn't it?
Yeah, because...
that we don't think the same way. I mean, we both have brains, yet when you... and we're both very good friends, but when you think about it, we have totally different thought processes.
Like watching the football games. You know, we're talking about something. I'll think of something that I heard, like, on Fox or ESPN, and I want to tell you that fact, but I'll have to wait, you know, through the conversation.
Your own conversation in your head, or...
No, the conversation that I'm physically having.
I see.
To, you know, to bring up a fact.
So,
but I'll be thinking about the conversation I heard on ESPN.
So you're basically having one conversation with me and another conversation in your own head, waiting to move that one into reality.
Into play, right.
Very, very weird.
It's not that I'm not paying attention to you.
No, I mean, first of all, I'm never really paying attention to anybody. I would be totally bored if I just paid attention to reality. All right, let me check with Mikey D. Mikey, are you any aware of how you think?
Yeah, like, one of my OCD things is to put everything that I've done for the day onto a micro cassette. I'm really something with dates. I'm not really a counter. But I do stuff with dates, and I remember.
So at the end of the night before you go to sleep?
Usually at the end of the night.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mikey D here.
Yeah, I'll say that. You know, I came back from the station, I had a beer. You know, be just, you know.
You put that on a micro cassette?
Yes, yes. And occasionally I'll put my feelings onto that cassette.
Mikey sad. All right, let me check with the Hawk. Hawk, do you, and honestly, the funny thing, and you ought to bring him in sometime, and we'll put him the music.
Someone's going to hear these things. They're going to take that kid from him.
Why don't you do this?
Okay.
Why don't you have the balls to do this? Bring some in. We'll have Wonder Boy listen to him, and you won't pick out the ones like, here's a good one. Just let him go through and see what he can find.
Okay, I go back to 1988 on this. So
all right, let's go to 88.
We'll go back a few years.
Yeah.
This one's from 88, people.
Bring us some 88, 89, maybe something when Kurt Cobain died. I like to hear your tears. Oh, it's a sad day.
This one's from 72 also.
What if he's just like pretending it's some news? I'm Mikey D, and here's my life. Hawk, are you aware of the way you think? Do you know what your brain does?
Yeah, totally. I'm very aware of it.
What is it?
Like when I'm having a conversation, I'll try to think in my head, all right, when Ron says this, I'll say this. And then if he says this, then I'll say that. But if he says something else, I'll say this.
So you're like a Terminator. You have a list of proper responses to choose from.
The odd thing about you, Hawk, is that's why we consider you slow. Because you're sitting there working out 8 different scenarios rather than being here with us.
Yeah, I know. That's the problem I have. I try to predict the future so I can come up with something witty, but I'm too busy trying to think about it.
I have never heard you come up with anything witty. All right, what if you're just by yourself walking down the street?
What are you thinking about?
Just what the smell was like in the city or the subway.
All right, so you pay attention to smells, your olfactory.
Yeah, and I also like try to...
That's very rare. Do you know that? But it does happen that some people put smell first
Hang on, he's waiting for a response to click in.
Respect. What if he just says that stinks?
His list of responses, number 8 is always, how about spaghetti, Ron? No matter what the question is, response number 8 is, how about spaghetti, Ron?
So that's pretty interesting. So when you're by yourself, so you don't have like, oh, what if I was a baseball player? What if I was a rock star? You're just thinking, that smells good. That smells bad.
Yeah, sometimes the smell will trigger a memory. I'm like, then I'll start to think about the past.
That is true. I understand that.
I remember that dump. Bad memory.
All right, I hate to do this. Let's go to Billy.
Oh, God.
Billy, it is kind of funny when you think about it. Of all the things they teach you in school, they never actually go, here's the proper way to think.
Yeah, it's
No,
true.
your parents never teach you that. They never think, okay, here's the things that you need to make your brain work. Your brain is just the one that you're born with. No one actually really trains it.
Let's check in with Billy from the film Being John Nash.
Well, my mind is always going a mile a minute, but I'm living in the moment. You know, everything is like what's happening right at this second.
Yeah.
It's like I'm never usually trying to think about too much about what's going to happen or what just happened. And if I think of something now, 20 seconds from now, I'll kill myself trying to remember what I thought of because I've already changed my focus.
All right, but you'll never, like, let's suppose you're walking down the street. Mm-hmm. You never think, okay, here's how my stand-up works, or here's some, you know, how do you get to that point?
Usually it's, I agree with Hawk to some extent. One of the things, again, in rehab, they said that smell is a big trigger for things. Like, I used to use this shampoo that smelled like...
Yeah, I thought he was...
Everyone else hear it? Okay.
Yeah.
I used to use a shampoo that smelled like crack. And it was Neutrogena or something.
Everything back to crack.
But I'm saying I couldn't use it because it was like... But I'm very visual.
Didn't smell trigger your both wives to leave?
If you're visual, you've done something different with your hair.
The hair looks nice. But I'm very, like, I'll look around, I take in the, you know, like, I'll even look on the ground. I like to look down when I walk for some reason. I'm always, like, looking where I'm walking.
Sure, you get the weighted world on those stupid shoulders.
Or they'll beat you with whips until you go back to your bell tower.
But I will think ahead to what I have to do for the day, and like sometimes I'll just notice something on a subway. It'll click, maybe something for the show or something for me.
I'm sorry, everybody stopped listening to you.
Now, when you talk about being in the moment, one thing that helps me with being partners with Ronnie is a lot of times I'm looking at one particular show, and Ronnie can see the big picture of things like in our career much better than I can.
And I always see the panic in your face when I'll
if you go too far ahead.
Yeah,
in the
I go too far ahead, and I'll go like this. And at that point, we'll be out of radio and running a bean farm. And I'm sure. Did you ever see the beginning of that movie, Bottle Rocket?
Right?
It's a great, great movie, and at the very beginning, the guy's showing up with his 5-year plan, his 20-year plan, and he literally has a 50-year plan. I always crack up because I think about that with me and Fez.
It's fine. I like the part where he goes, hey, I'm on a new program now.
But I have seen, because I really do think abstractly, and I always, and I always throw so many things at Fez, and I see me, backing up, and I'm thinking, God, he's so smart. But you just think differently. It's not that you don't comprehend it, but you just overload.
We're both thinking about the show, but I can only think of it in much smaller increments.
Right, you break it down into break by break.
Yeah.
It's very, very interesting.
But that's what works for us.
Yeah. So when I start to talk too big, you're thinking, oh my God, that would mean this many little parts.
And then on the other side, I can handle a little more details.
You know what?
For Ronnie, like names.
Yeah. If we were doing comic books, I would just draw and then you would come in and color, shade, and put in all the little details. And I'd already be gone. Yeah. Me and Fez are doing a comic book. I'm home drinking. Filling in Ronnie had a daydream, so this will keep me busy for 3 years.
If we both had that big picture process of thinking, we'd be sitting around doing nothing, counting our Nobel Prizes in our heads.
No, just the opposite. Yeah, it would only be in our heads. We'd never get anywhere. Just be me and you on the beach somewhere, and then you know what we ought to do. We'll get all new chicks.
Bean farm, you say?
Seems like me and Ron are getting a bean farm. Here's Jim. Jim, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, Jim, go ahead, buddy.
How's it going, guys?
Yeah,
I often wonder, like, people who, like, speak English as a second language, even if they speak it well, I'm wondering if they think in their old language, say German or Spanish or whatever.
Well, I mean, the interesting thing is, and it's why it's hard after you get to be a certain age,
yeah,
is because you try to translate all the time. Like when Fez learned Spanish, he would translate.
Even in his own head, you mean?
Yeah, in his own head. But a little kid who learns two languages at the same time doesn't think of la cocina as
the kitchen.
It's just la cocina to him.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, thanks a lot.
All right, see.
Bye.
So that's why they're trying to do it with kids with music. You know, you're trying to grab a 2-year-old kid and start teaching them music. Because, you know, so many people pick up the guitar at, 16, 17, 18, and they're doing so much thinking.
So that way, just get it on a young level where they don't know that there's a process to it.
Yeah.
You can make it more instinctual.
Exactly, that's true. It's the process that slows us down. Then you're thinking like, Hawk, if Ron asks me if I want grapes, I'll tell him, no, I don't like seeds. If Ron asks me to go to the ball game, I'll say I'm a Mets fan, not a Yankees fan. He's keeping his whole day busy wondering what I'm going to say next.
Why don't you just wait till you hear the question, then come up with a single response instead of doing it early and coming up with 12 different?
Get away from the mic, Banana Nose. I guess you didn't see that one coming, did you?
That came out of left field.
All right, come on over, Hawk. Go ahead. But it is like the Terminator, the way he thinks.
Yeah, it's very logical.
He gets a multiple choice.
No, it's not logical.
No, it needs to be.
No, yeah, everybody does feel logical to them. Even when, Crazy Mikey is, been leaving himself a wacky little audio diary. That's basically all you're doing.
It's basically a diary, but I don't feel if I miss a few days, I actually start freaking out. Where I have to go back and I ask my chick, okay, what did we do this afternoon? Because I need to put it down on the microphone.
How does she stay with you?
I don't know.
Let me ask you this, Mikey. Is it a situation like if someone has a lot to do, they got a lot on their plate.
Right.
All right? And you got to get yourself organized because you got to go, maybe pick up some dry cleaning. You got to get the kid at the school or whatever.
Right.
You got to organize your thoughts and come up with a plan. By you doing it out loud, is that you organizing your thoughts and leaving that day's chores and that day's agenda behind and being able to start fresh the next day?
It's partly that, and it also is, again, I freak out if I don't remember what I did, say, 7 Christmases ago. Or I don't remember a gift that I got.
I can't remember what we did 7 minutes ago.
So I will go back to the tape. And I'll find the tape, and I'll say, okay, I know I got it that year.
Let's go back to the tape.
All right, here's the weird thing, though. Let's suppose me and you have an argument. You're going to go home and say Ron is a real jerk, and then feel differently later.
No, I don't normally say, okay, she's a bitch or Ron's a jerk.
So you really try to be like a journalist and just give the facts, not your emotions.
Right, exactly.
Because I was wondering if this was you kind of getting it off your chest or whatever.
It's more of just having the daily routine there or what was done that day.
Oddly enough, here's as weird and stupid as it is, it's almost like a giant piece of artwork now. That this is one person's weird little take on the world for, like you said now, since 88.
All right, let me give you a specific example, Mikey.
Here's the only difference. I've been talking into a microphone since 88, but being paid well.
Sure.
That's a big difference.
Mikey D, the Ron Festival of Rockin' Ribs.
Right.
When I said, Mikey D, please don't throw drumsticks at our audience.
Right.
All right, don't throw wood into the crowd.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and I know with you like to do a good job, and you don't want to do anything that throws the show off whatsoever.
Correct.
How did that get recorded in the audio journal?
I said that much to the dismay of Fez, I still threw out my sticks. And people caught them, and I would play the whole process, say the whole process of it. But I will mention, and I did mention, that Fezzy at one point said, don't do that, and I still did it.
But you didn't go on the tape and go, oh my gosh, what a horrible day.
No.
Fez came down on me for throwing sticks.
No, I just said, what you had told me, but I still did
weird.
it.
All right, so many people write this in that you have the Great Adventure tape. Everybody wants to hear the first day you sipped a D.
If I
This just in!
if I think
My
about
mouth.
it long enough, I could actually pinpoint the day.
Oh, God.
So
He's
that I could
weird
do.
like that. We'll talk
If
about
you
it.
can find it.
It won't be on the tape because that's too far back.
Okay.
That was in '78. But if I think about it, I could actually pinpoint the day and the date. I just need a little bit of time to think about it, but I can usually do it.
All right, we got in. I don't know if this is interesting to anyone else. It's fascinating to me that none of us actually think the same way. I mean, that just goes to show you how alone you are in your life experience. Because I've been with people before who goes, "Oh, could you believe how mean somebody talked to us?" And I always go, "No, I didn't take it that way," or I don't let that guy get to me. You know what I mean? I'm always aware that we all have different experiences. But the fact that we don't think the same way is just the weirdest thing to me right now. All right, this should be interesting. Let's see how she thinks. It's Stalker Patty.
Oh, gosh.
Stalker Patty.
Hi.
How are you?
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, honey.
She sees a world of chocolate.
Well, I like to work with my calculator a lot on the train when I'm idling before getting to my stop. And I like doing square roots of people's ages just for fun, or solving math problems just for fun.
So you see everything mathematically.
I guess, logically.
Now, Fez and I have a friend who is a gambler, a real, big gambler, sees everything as in numbers and, sees it as the universal language. Everything is numbers.
Really?
So if he sees words as almost how many, whether they would match up with how many, like your name and somebody else's name, one name's a 5, the other's a 3, whatever the hell it is. And everything is always just numbers with him. And I think that's what got him the gambling addiction.
Yeah, if something can happen, where if you're having lunch with them and like the waitress brings you the wrong sandwich, he'll figure out into numbers, like the cost of that sandwich, that and the cash 3.
Right, he's always doing that.
With me, it's my fascination with my calculator. I like to do little, do the square roots and then keep pressing the square root key until I get it all the way down to 1.
I take that thing and hold it over her head.
Now, Patty, how long has that been going on?
Oh, almost all my life, since I was a young adult, I guess.
So instead of thinking, you're doing square roots of people's ages. You haven't even moved on to like a zip code square root. It's still, he's 14, let's take a look at the square root. And do you do anything with those numbers?
No, I don't do anything with them. I just play with the calculator. I like pressing the percentage button a lot to see what percentage. I try to estimate my groceries when I buy them, what I think they'll cost, and I'm usually almost close.
Oh, that would be fun to do.
Yeah.
It's really amazing. I usually guess exactly almost, what I'm going to actually spend on groceries.
Do you try and hand them exact change? Here's 174.18.
No,
I'm sure
not
you'll
that
find
bad.
that. I'm sure you'll find that to be right.
And I get that a lot with customers who have to go for the last penny, but I'm not that bad.
She chases them out the door saying, I owe you a 10th of a penny.
I know.
All
Usually
right,
they
Patty.
don't want their pennies.
All right.
All right. Well, anyway, that was my little whatever.
Well, it was fascinating. Thank you so much, Annie.
Okay,
All right,
bye-bye.
bye-bye.
Have a good night.
All right,
Welcome
stay.
back.
All right,
Glad
thanks.
to-
Hey, yes.
Here is Shannon. Shannon, you're on Run of Fez.
Hey, Shannon.
Hey, buddies.
What?
Big ass card holder 18767 here.
Hooah!
Did you guys ever see the movie Pi, where the guy literally sees everything that he looks at is in numbers, whether it's trees, the ocean?
I did
catch that flick?
Yeah, I did see Pi. It's very, very weird. He thinks so much that his ears bleed.
Oh,
But that also had the thing that some people believe in, that the secret code to the Bible has something to do with numbers. Have you ever heard of that?
Yeah.
It has something to do with pi, where if you actually are smart enough to figure out pi, you figure out everything in the universe.
Yeah, there was some kind of key to the universe in that movie, and it was a very bizarre movie. And then it was also a lot of it was in this neighborhood, like at our subway stop. And I'm always weirded out when I see, I don't mind seeing New York in films when things get weird, but when there are exact things, it always weirds me out.
Yeah, that's a good flick, though. Thanks a lot, boys.
Yeah, whatever.
And then when that movie wasn't actually about pie, desserts.
Were you really upset then?
Yeah, it's disappointing.
All right, we got to take a break. We'll be right back. Run a Fez.
Just thinking about thinking. We're running Fez.
Thinking, I call it. We got into this weird conversation because it's always weird for me to hear the way other people think. The kind of, whatever the soundtrack is in their mind. Like, I realize that a lot of people, if they're musicians, they must be just hearing tunes all the time.
Yeah, music must appear everywhere.
Yeah.
Fortunately, I don't have that.
I know when I listen to music,
yeah,
I could decipher it and break it down, where I can hear every little thing that's going on. Where somebody who's not really into the music, or as a musician, can hear it all.
They used to do that to us in music class. They'd play us a piece, and you'd have to sit there and name all the instruments you heard.
Try to find everything.
Oh, it was just one big horn to me.
But here's a strange way of thinking. Imagine this: if you were a composer, you would sit there and be thinking about every little piece that's going on in a 60-piece orchestra or whatever, and then start to write those down. Now, there's a lot of people, and I'm actually like this. I think creative thought is almost picked up somewhere in the universe. I almost feel like instead of it coming from inside you, you're picking that thing up that floats around the universe, whether you want to say it's from God or whatever, like songs or whatever. And that's why a lot of times, you ever notice this? Really similar songs will come out at the same time, or all of a sudden there'll be 3 movies about Christopher Columbus.
Right.
All these years, nothing about Christopher Columbus. Or, next year, robot movies are the rage. Why the hell is everybody thinking that at the same time? And one time, and I don't know all the specifics, it's Sweet Melissa who told me this, that at 2 different parts of the world, at the very same time, people were inventing calculus. All the time leading up to this, nobody had come up with calculus. Then at the same exact time, in 2 places in the world where people were working on the same strange thing. How the hell can that be?
That's bizarre.
Yeah.
That's unless we have antennas.
We ought to get
antennas.
Try to get a hold of her, Wonder Boy, because I want to hear that story for her.
877-692-1027 New York, 866-277-4969 for D.C.
All right, here is Sean. Sean, you're on Ron of Fez. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, Sean.
Hey, buddies, 23295.
It's great to be here.
I was calling in originally because I thought I had just this one little thing. Now I'm getting scared. Like, I'm listening to all this stuff. I'm like, yeah, I do that. I mean, I'm with Hawk. It's logical to me to have conversations, especially if I think, like, if I'm at work and I think it's going to be a confrontational conversation, I want to think of everything they might say, how I'll respond to it, just so I'm completely prepared.
Yeah, I think that it is kind of a smart thing to go, okay, what if this comes up, what if that comes up, and I'll be prepared for that. But Hawk is going, while somebody is talking, he's trying to guess the next thing that they say, and then figure out what his many responses would be. And in the meantime, he's just completely lost.
And instead of listening.
Yeah.
No, I listen, but it's like you want to make sure you're anticipating them so that you don't get caught off guard.
It's like a confidence thing.
All right, thanks. Yeah, I'd say it. Here's, whatever, I guess we're all, you only do things for positive responses. But, other people's stuff always sounds so weird to you. The counting in the head freaks me completely, that you guys are constantly counting steps and syllables and chips.
And all that's for your own private comfort.
Here's Matt, you're on Ron and Fez.
What's up, boy?
Hey, Matt.
You ever heard how somewhere in the world you have an exact twin?
Go ahead.
You never heard, well, my mom, when I was a kid, and I always think at one point in my life, what am I doing and what is my twin doing at that exact, and it freaks me out. And that there's someone in the world that, because she told me it's your exact twin, they look exactly like you, everything's the same except for the complete opposite, so if you're nice, they're...
All right, your mom said something to a little kid. You're an adult now. Shake that off.
I can't.
All right, there's no Earth 2 where somebody is doing the same thing as you except for opposite.
Oddly enough, my twin lives in China.
And ever since I was a little kid, I would crack my jaw, and I can't stop that either. And I'd take my back teeth, my far back, not my molars, but the ones in front of them, and I would start to count and touch as many teeth as I can with them.
Yeah.
And I get mad when I can't, and I'll do it for hours just trying to touch every teeth.
All right, Matt, you're a whack, though, John.
All right.
I can't quit.
All right, that's it.
Thanks, Patty Duke.
All right, it does sometimes, this thought will enter my mind. And when you really think about this, and it always hit me at the quietest moments or whatever, but everybody that you've ever met before,
right,
or just run across or whatever, they're all still doing something at that exact moment.
That weirds me out.
And I'm such a narcissist that I can't imagine how they get along without me. I'm thinking, hey, they're not calling? What the hell?
I do it with celebrities. Like, Bill Murray is alive and doing something right now.
That is true. What's Michael Vick doing at this exact moment? Is he done preparing? Is he thinking about Philly, or is he watching a movie? Is he watching Car Wash from the 70s?
All right, here's something I always wonder about. Everyone has their own perception. Like, some people could see Billy as fun, some people could see him as a horrible ex-husband.
I always say horrible ex-husband.
I think that would be only 2 people. I think that's a limited audience.
Okay. But what do you think, like with physical perception, does everybody see the same Ron Bennington that I see physically?
Or even the same color?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've always thought that as well. Like, whatever I'm looking at, Earl or Billy or Hawk, they're not seeing the same thing.
Ronnie's wearing a hat. He's wearing a black hat. But, do we all see the same black hat?
I'm wearing a blue hat, Fez.
Oh, my God.
See?
That is strange. That is true. Rob, you're on Fez. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, Rob.
Now, you guys ever, you're in the middle of a thought process, you're trying to be extremely logical, and then, somebody bends over in front of you, and then, your urges just kick in and override logic, and it's just so bizarre. You have no control over
Well, when you just think, what would she be like in bed? What does she look like when she's reaching Nirvana? Sure, I think everyone does that. I will actually play this little game in my head. Okay, if I had to bang somebody on the subway, who's it going to be? Like a Spanish girl? Hey! And then I'm like, I ought to give her a little award. My mind works so fast that the whole thing could take 2 seconds, though.
You can't help it, though. It's like you have no control over that process.
All right, thanks a lot. All right, Sweet Melissa's on the line. She's going to explain to us that the kind of theory, whatever that she told me about. And this was the fact that, how could this happen, Fez? 2 people in different parts of the world, when they weren't communicating with each other, both come up with calculus at the same time.
There's no reason for it. It should not have happened.
Unless there is some kind of and I'll call it an energy force or a river that goes around. You know what I mean? And I always think to myself, say with songs, that song is out there. And it's like, if you have the right antenna, you're Billy Joel. You can pick up that kind of music. Ozzy Osbourne has a different type of antenna that he can pick up that kind of music. My antenna doesn't work that way. I would never in a million years be able to sit down and write a fun song. That everybody else would go, oh, this is interesting. It just wouldn't happen, All right, here's Sweet Melissa.
Sweet Melissa.
Melissa.
Boys, how you doing? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you, honey. Did you
Happy New Year.
Have nice holidays?
I certainly did.
Good.
Thank you.
All right, tell us about this calculus thing.
Okay, well, a lot of people worked up to the foundations, but Newton and Leibniz came up with calculus around the same time, but not working together.
All right, who's the second guy?
Leibniz.
And where was he?
I don't know exactly where they were. I just knew that they didn't work together.
All right, so they didn't work together and they didn't communicate together.
Mm-mm.
Yet they're on the same exact thing.
Exactly.
How the hell could that happen? You're a scientist.
I'm a scientist, and here I go to something that seems so metaphysical, but I've always believed that there is some energy in water. And I told you about this, but I kind of feel that that the molecules of water, it's like you say it's something in the air, but I think that's something in the water that people have that, it rains and then it goes into the rivers that go down the rivers, and then again it goes back up into the air, and then it comes down, people are drinking it. And how else can we get that energy? Energy has to be passed through one form or other thing. So I kind of think ideas in the most simplest of forms. The way you can tap into the subconscious is through water. And I know that doesn't sound. There's no way to test that, you know?
Because you're saying we're always surrounded by water, even though we're not. There's moisture in the air. Water's constantly moving.
Water is always on the move.
I see. I didn't even know that. I mean, I knew it. I know about evaporation and rain, but it doesn't occur to me that. And you're saying perhaps there's energy in those tiny microscopic droplets of water.
There is energy definitely in those tiny drops of water, but I don't know how it turns into the idea energy. I mean, how does it get into the subconscious? But that is one method of transmission. That is one way that these ideas could come from Europe and go to, London and go to Paris without.
That's like, honey, look at some of the drought countries. They don't come up with crap.
That's true. I mean, and Earl, no offense, but those people in Africa are so stupid. They were still bare-ass. They'd still be bare-ass today if we didn't send them over shorts.
They go 2 years without water. What's the big idea? Plate and a lip.
Right.
That's what you come up with? Give the people some water.
All right, here's a weird thing, though, Melissa.
Yes.
All right, we have the same atoms, let's say, and like oxygen or whatever, the same ones that were always here, right?
Yeah.
All right, so like literally, and I was told this before, when you take a breath in, like that, if everyone takes a breath together, you are picking up the same atoms, literally in that breath that maybe Christ put in, Jimi Hendrix, anyone who's ever been on the planet. If there is any kind of memory stored in those things, maybe that's where people's deja vu comes from.
Oh, that's
or
cool.
Their past life thing, that some atom like that touched in your brain somewhere, and you're able to pick up information.
I totally agree in that sense that how does that molecule, like the same molecule that Julius Caesar, breathed in, that's wild. How does that affect our brain? How does that affect our body? How does that change us? Granted, I do believe some people have a different, like some people's brain mass part of their brain is a little bit larger and it works a little bit better and faster, has more neurons connecting it, and that I do think that's why certain people can connect with their subconscious to be more creative, to be more mathematical, but to be more of a genius in their field than other people.
Hold on, Melissa. Somebody has a thing here.
Okay.
I had heard this before. I'm going to let him tell it. Here's Tim. Tim, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, Tim.
Hey, Ron Fez, how you doing?
Good.
I heard this theory that there's a collective unconscious, and that if you do a crossword puzzle later in the day or at night, that it's easier because people who did it earlier in the day have supplied the answers throughout the world.
And
that's cool.
Now this scientist, the way I heard it, Melissa, I don't know, I can't say, but they did tests on people. And while people are doing the test, once the puzzle has been figured out, it's easier for other people in other places in the world to figure out that crossword puzzle than on their own. Well, they are on their own, but like Tim's saying, you're tapping into the collectiveness of all of us.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
I know, because sometimes I do those People magazine crossword puzzles, and the answers just come to me.
Now, I know that sounds crazy because it all feels like we're separate, but if you were far enough back, almost like large enough, we would all look like the same thing to you, right, Melissa?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
If you were so gigantic that we would be the size of an atom, we would only look like one thing to you.
Right, you wouldn't be able to see the distinct individual characteristics.
Right, we would be one thing to that person.
You couldn't see any of the detail.
Yeah.
And if you went to the microscopic level, we would all look the same too. So it's only at a certain distance do we ever look even different. You know what I mean? Like it's just we are the same. When you go
so let's suppose this: there was a microscopic spaceship.
Okay.
And Fez and I were shaking hands or next to each other, whatever. As you went through that spaceship, you wouldn't know at this kind of universe, because you're at that microscopic level, you wouldn't know where Fez started and I ended. It would all be kind of the same, right?
It would just be our atoms intertwined.
Right.
Exactly.
Wow, this is good pot.
Now,
this is, and I don't normally smoke before the show, but this is really, really good.
Now, is this on the same level of, let's say, someone breaks the record in running the mile? For, they always said a 4-minute mile was impossible. Once someone does it, and other people can after that.
Yeah, like...
Even though you went so many hundreds of years with no 4-minute mile.
Well, here's the thing there. The 4-minute mile was not so much a physical barrier as it was a mental barrier. Because people couldn't run 4 minutes. But when you found out that people could, it's just like when you were in school and someone climbed the rope first. When you would first show up, you see the rope, nobody would go up, and finally one kid would come up, and after that, everyone starts climbing the effing rope.
That's like on those reality shows.
Except for the fat kids.
Yeah. On those reality... Survivor, don't be the first person to do the challenge.
Right.
Somebody had to spot everyone else.
That's right. You were holding that rope.
Spot you from the moon.
Somebody wants to say hi to us now, why we're really weird.
Okay.
It's a mystery guest. Hi, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, how you doing, Ron and Fez? Happy New Year.
Try to guess who this person is, Fez.
I'm going to guess. I don't recognize the voice.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. That's the only clue I'm getting.
And it's SP.
SP is the initials.
SP?
Yep.
And Happy New Year are my clues.
Yep.
I'm still not getting it. I'm not getting it.
It's Super.
Super is my next clue.
Super. Give me the next clue.
It's the Super from my building.
Superstar. Superstar, how you doing, buddy?
Good. How you guys doing?
Good.
Happy New Year.
I understand that you made some New Year's resolutions.
Yes.
You did?
Yes, and I gave them to your producer.
Do you remember what they are?
No, I don't. Rory remembers.
You don't remember.
All right, did you write these down or did Rory write them for you?
Rory wrote them for me.
All right, here is Superstar's New Year's resolutions. Number 1, see if Nurse Myra still has a crush on Superstar.
Oh, okay.
Number 2, will Tenacious C come into the studio and sit on Superstar's lap?
That's a good resolution.
It is a good one.
It's a goal in the new year.
Well, then who will I have on my lap? And then 3, meet Sweet Melissa again. All right, Superstar, it seems like all your resolutions have to do with girls.
Yes.
You're girl crazy.
Yes,
you really are.
Yes, I am. Would you guys be?
Yeah, I would be if I was you.
Yes.
Hey, whatever happened with you being able to come back and do the show? What happened there?
Did you ever find out?
Scott said no.
Why?
I don't know.
Did you ask him today? Because I know you and I had a talk.
Yes, I did.
And did you have to do this?
What?
Mr. Herman, you have a telephone call at the front desk.
No.
No, nothing right now, Mr. Herman.
Did you say that to him?
No, I did not.
No, nothing right now, Mr. Herman.
No, I did not.
No. What? How did you say it?
I just said, Scott, I would like to be on with the guys again. He goes, but he said something about changing format. He told me.
God damn it, Superstar knows more than us.
Finally, someone who knows something.
We've got a new PD.
We're going to a less good, no good format.
The place we are right now, we ought to let Superstar pick the format. They'll do as good as anybody else.
Yeah. But I just want to say, Sweet Melissa, she's so beautiful.
Yeah.
Aww. Superstar, you're so adorable yourself. I love your smile.
I love you, too.
Melissa, he's girl crazy.
He is.
I couldn't keep his interest. I just know it.
Yes, she could.
Like a teeny bopper.
All right, we got to take a break, Superstar.
Okay.
All right, Sweet Melissa, I really would love to get into your water theory again sometime.
Okay, sounds
See,
like...
Ronnie, when we're thirsty and we need water in here, we're really thirsty for knowledge.
You know what we ought to do, Melissa? You come in here one night and we'll keep you moist. All right, we're going to take a break.
See how creative we
get.
get.
See how creative we all get.
Let me say, Sweet Melissa, would you like to go on a date with Superstar?
What about Myra?
Well, this Myra, I don't know if she has a crush on me or what.
You girl crazy kid?
You're girl crazy. You can't be with all the girls. All right, Superstar. We'll check on it, okay, buddy?
Okay.
Thanks,
All right.
Superstar. There he goes.
Superstar, that's our new agent. He's talking Scott Herman for us.
Mr. Herman, you have a telephone call at the front desk.
There you have it, Scott Herman and Superstar working very hardly.
Hopefully they'll have something for you real soon in New York
Sure,
City.
they're doing the best they can. We'll take a break. We'll be right back. Ron and Fez.